Hey, AfterBuzzers and Oncers, we are so excited to talk about engagements and engagement rings, the search for the perfect one. Also, we find out who the witch killer is. We cannot wait to discuss. Also, we have a great character corner coming to you today. Don't go away.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Clearly, I don't want you guys to go away, so I had to stutter just a little bit.
No, that was my remix. I'm the DJ.
Don't go away.
I tell her when to remix.
Yeah, we did a little remix for you guys. It wasn't me stuttering or anything. Welcome back to another amazing after show. We have so much to break it down, and I've got to say really quick that I almost forgot about the engagement and the proposal just because I was so shook at the end of this episode. But before we get into it, Steph Sabraw, what's going on?
What's up, everyone? I'm Steph Sabraw. I'm so excited to talk about this episode. I was right again.
Yes. We have so many predictions.
That's the last time I'm going to brag.
We have so many predictions that have come true, especially Lanisha Fisher. Some of your predictions are correct.
Okay, now this will definitely not be the last time I brag.
Definitely not. And Carolina, we're here to tell you we told you so because you weren't here last week. How's it going?
It's all right, I'm here.
Oh my god.
And hey guys, Ally Nasta here, your lovely hosts. I have so much fun every Monday. And you know what? I don't think I've ever gotten this far into this theme song, and it's amazing.
I really feel like
this is pretty epic, though.
our plotline is about to climax.
Also, I want to give a huge shout out to our amazing engineer, Jeff. He always does so many fun things for us here. But let's just say overall thoughts really quick. What are you guys thinking?
I really like this episode because I felt like it moved the plot forward. You know, now that we've got the stepsisters back in their realm, I feel like this story is actually progressing. So I was actually happy with this episode because now we can move forward.
I agree.
See, me and you always just got opposite vibes.
Wait, Lanisha, you said you were frustrated. Why?
Yeah, this whole thing frustrated me. First of all, Henry frustrated me because he's just dumb sometimes. I'm sorry, Henry. Like, get it together. Sometimes he's just
on that.
Yeah, he's just a little slow. And then like with the episode of the big reveal, it's like we kind of already revealed it, and we're kind of a little bit ahead of the episode itself rather than being, oh my gosh, he's the killer.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, I already knew that he was the killer.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of pre-spoiled it by having that moment where he lifted up the trunk. I wish that we had never seen that. And
That's true.
This moment in the car with the scar had been the moment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Steph, do you have any thoughts? Or you're ready to
Yeah,
get in?
I am ready to get in. I really liked this episode. I noticed that I do have a little bit. The parts of this entire season that I don't like as much is outside of Hyperion Heights. I really do like the Hyperion Heights plot line. It's when we go back in time that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
okay with it.
Yeah. And I think one thing about this episode too, just talking about like going back and forth, I think what's a little confusing is because we are progressing the storyline and then we're finally figuring out how Jacinda and Henry got engaged. And I feel like that's almost not even relevant to what we're trying to figure out right now with the curse and everything. Because we all know that they got engaged. We didn't need that extra information.
It was unnecessary.
I'm going to disagree there
Okay.
because I felt that what they were trying to show was their connection. Because in the real world, he was moving away from her. So they wanted to show in the Enchanted Forest how he had like proposed to her because that's what solidified their relationship.
Okay,
And that was
that
a
makes
really big
sense.
step for him. But leaving for New York is also a really big step for him. And funny thing is he's already lived in New York under a curse, not knowing that he was leaving people that he loved when he lived there with Emma.
Okay, that's
I
very
agree
true.
with you, except I think it still could have been like done a little. I would have
A little
had
different.
just done it a little different.
I would have put it in another episode.
Right. Well,
I like the storyline, just not for this particular episode.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, we got our overall thoughts going. Let's break it down for everybody that's watched. And we do have Steph in the chat. So if you're listening on a podcast, we're sorry, but we have a live chat going. So we want to definitely talk to the listeners on this. And we're so excited. What's so funny?
I'm
You
like
got a
cracking
shout
up.
out already.
I'm sorry, no, but we got Steph in the chat. Feels like a new line of children's book by Dr. Seuss coming out like
Oh my
next
gosh.
week.
No one would ever have me in a children's
the
book
chat.
anything. They'd be like, we have no idea what she's going to say.
Oh my gosh.
She
amazing.
makes fun of kids.
All right. Well, let's break it down. So first of all, we found obviously know that Nick is as Hansel. I always want to call him Gretel. I don't know why, but we find out that Nick is Hansel. And one thing that kind of, when we were trying to see this storyline progress a little bit more with Hook and Rumple finding the book, I found that a little weird. Why would that book just be chilling there at the crime scene? Did I miss something? They went into the storage room, but that doesn't seem logical to me that they would just randomly, like, that's a really big, detailed thing that someone would just leave hanging around. Did I miss something?
The only thing I can think of is, remember when he opened his trunk and we got that brief glance? There was a bag in there. So the only thing I can think of is that getting out, maybe he dropped it.
That's the only thing I could think of.
But then the only thing I can think of is that he must have been in a rush and not paying attention. Again, this is also called like a Hail Mary, when they just have to move the plot forward and something has to be there for them to connect the dots.
Yeah. But also, too, this was back at Ivy's crime scene.
Which makes the most sense, because that's the one time that somebody got away and he was beat up.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he was in a hurry to get out of there after he was maced. So that's the only way that it makes sense, is that he was maced, he was super discombobulated, it fell out, or maybe he was putting his stuff back into his car and it fell out. Who knows? It fell out.
I agree with you as far as being beat up, being maced. You can't see nothing. You got your butt whooped, So I think he was mainly focused on, I gotta get Ivy. I gotta get Ivy, rather than focusing on something fell out. He probably didn't know what fell out. He was just like, I gotta get the witch that is escaping.
But why would you be carrying that book?
Yeah,
like, you're just referencing it real quick before you make the kill.
Well, that was my thing. And they found it in that back, it was like the back area of the parking lot, right? Did I miss something?
Well, that would make sense as far as like where he parked.
Too.
Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't know if maybe, when you watch something and you think that maybe I just was misunderstood, I didn't understand, I missed something.
No, I missed it too.
All right, cool.
We're with you.
As long as we're on the same page there. And let's just jump to kind of closing out the Hansel storyline as we find out that he wants to capture Henry. I want to ask you guys, why do we think that he wants to capture Henry?
I feel like he gets nothing out of Henry. I don't even understand why he showed him the scar in the first place.
Right.
Unless he feels that because in the Enchanted Forest, Henry and them were friendly with Ivy, that they are now culpable for letting her go without him exacting his revenge.
I don't know. I kind of think this is why I have the book when I have the author himself. Maybe he thinks like, he could rewrite something. Maybe as a whole
But does he know that he's the author? Because just because he met him in the second Enchanted Forest, Henry wasn't exactly volunteering that he's the dude that can change the stories.
But he was introducing himself, and he was like his best friend in the which that's the storyline that's missing. I feel like that should have been in this episode. That's what's missing. That big
I agree with
storyline.
you. That would have been really. Sorry.
Let's wait. What is Steph? What did you
Am
say?
I right? I guess Carolina would know this. He doesn't have the pen anymore. Wasn't that a big part of the episode that he gave it away? He's not really the author anymore.
No, he broke it so that nobody could do that. But this is Once Upon a Time, people.
Yeah, anything
He
could
still
happen.
got the magic like
There
handwriting.
was a second pen made in the Elvish forest.
Yeah, exactly.
This brings it down, and let's remember, we always thought something was fishy with Jack, aka Nick, aka Gretel or Hansel, and so he obviously has had motives, and I'm glad that Lanisha, you brought that up, is because he clearly has had this plan from the get-go, and we've been wondering what else is behind this spell, and if he's killing witches, he obviously is doing things with Mother Gothel.
Oh, I have questions.
Okay, let's get them
Okay, so
answered.
number one, Mother Gothel, if anybody killed Gretel, it was her. Okay? Did you guys forget about that episode already? I haven't forgotten about that episode. She threw Ivy out there to the wolves and was like, take her out.
Okay, so that's question one. Question two.
So that's my biggest question. The second question is, what did happen to Gretel? Because we never really found out.
Yeah,
She died.
She died.
Did she really though? Did she really though?
Ivy stabbed her.
No, I understand that she
She
stabbed
did.
her, but how many times have we seen people die, quote unquote, in this show and then
She's dead.
mysteriously come back?
She was dead.
Because that's
So then why is he killing all the witches instead of just going after Ivy in the first place?
because it was a whole cult.
he knows that it was a cult, and this is all fueled by, first off, his mind not being right from the baker and already a witch basically torturing him, almost killing him, and then his sister dying, which I think this is all, I think that's all revenge. He just wants all the witches. He knew that there was a coven. I assume there's multiple witches, and now I don't think it's about who necessarily. It's about a hate for witches.
Yeah.
And so I think when you kind of put these pieces together, maybe the reason he has Henry as a hostage is because he obviously needs Kelly and he needs Regina in order to kind of kill all of the witches, and we obviously know that Kelly's the next target.
Yeah.
Kelly, if you don't remember, aka that's the Wicked Witch, Zelina.
Yeah. Which I think that's crazy. When she got that box of chocolates at the end, I was like, this dude is out of his mind. Does he not know she's the craziest of them all?
Yeah.
Not my witch.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have any powers.
For now.
Yeah,
For now.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is one of those episodes where we thought we got so many questions answered, and then we go back into it and really dive into everything, and we still have so many things we don't know. Because we don't know how this curse is going to be able to let go, and obviously Hansel has some things behind it.
But now the plot is moving forward with the main characters, so that's exciting
totally
to
true.
see.
True.
It's leaving us on the edge of our seats.
But you know
Keep
what this is reminding me of? With Emma and the Mad Hatter in the old episodes. Remember when he was crazy and he was remembering stuff as a character? So this kind of gave me that type of feeling with Henry and Hansel. I was just like, oh, okay, he's dealing with crazy right now. So he's not fully awake, because we were like talking about that last week, about him being awake. So he's not fully awake. He's just a little crazy. And Henry needs to, if he gets a little smart, he just needs to be a little street smart to trick him.
You don't think he's fully awake? I think he's fully awake. I think he just doesn't know he hasn't been around those characters necessarily to know them that well, but he knows he is Hansel and he knows his sister's Gretel. So,
But I wonder if the curse somehow twisted his memory of his past.
Yeah, could be, because why is he there?
Why is he
and he could be in control of, Mother Gothel could be in control of him. But we're clearly going to have so many things that are going to help us figure out what Hansel's motives actually are. But it was really interesting that we ended the episode with Henry basically being held as a hostage. But, speaking of relationships and moving things forward, we did see Henry search for the perfect engagement ring this episode. And we got a little bit of a Davy Wayne's Pirates of the Caribbean kind of feel. What were your guys' thoughts on him trying to find the perfect engagement ring?
I think he's putting too much pressure on himself, trying to live up to his parents. Even his mom can't live up to Snow White and Prince Charming. She just can't.
Yeah.
They're their own entities. You just have to be yourself. And I think that was kind of his purpose for leaving Storybrooke. And this episode just showed that he was still looking for it. Even as he was on his own adventure, he still didn't really realize he was on his own adventure until the very end when he took her to he took her to the lake. And she was like, oh, this is a magical place. Tell me about it. Was there a war here? And he's like, no. Literally, this is the only place where nothing has happened except me proposing to you right now.
Which that makes it a special place.
That makes it special.
Yeah.
I was wondering what made him think in the first place that she wasn't going to be okay with it.
I feel like it was not her. It had nothing to do with her. This was his personal demon.
It's always been Henry since he was younger. This has always been his kind of tragic flaw, so to speak, where he feels like he wants to be in it so bad. He wants to be the warrior savior, and he's just not. That's not his role. So I think it's about learning what his role is and accepting it, which I think he's doing a better job of now, at least, once he had that experience on the boat.
on the waters. Which, okay, my biggest frustration, and maybe this is just me personally, what I was getting so frustrated about is the whole way he was going to get the engagement ring was by stealing it. That really bothered me. Who wants a stolen engagement ring?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good point.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but he fought for it.
I think the reason he wasn't stealing a ring. He wanted to steal something that was mythical, so then it would be something of epic proportions. Again, he always goes above and beyond. It's not an engagement ring that actually belongs to anybody anymore. It's a mythical ring that's out there. And he's like, wouldn't I be the best suitor ever if I just popped up? And I was like, look at this magical ring.
But it was also something where I'm thinking, why would you put yourself in a situation that scary when what if you don't come back and be able to propose to your fiance?
Dude has some serious insecurity issues.
He's like
clearly
Alexander
working on
Hamilton.
them.
Clearly.
He'll never be satisfied. You guys should listen to that album.
That's my favorite song
I love
on the
Hamilton.
album.
Guys, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
As someone who just got engaged, I don't think my fiance would have been thrilled if she knew I spent $0 on her. I'm just gonna say it.
She'd be pissed.
Right.
I
like,
would second
I went
that.
on a venture beyond the sea and back and went through a realm in order to get this ring for you. I'd be like, well, I'm glad you're here.
But how much did
much
you
is that?
spend?
But also, at the end of the day, he didn't end up giving it to her.
It
So
would have been
Jeff-
priceless.
I guess he ended up going on this grander adventure and didn't even.
Even worse.
So I'm glad that you chimed in there, Jeff.
And let me say, finding an engagement ring is an adventure enough. So
Okay.
for any dudes who have done it, they know.
Right, but it's adventurous and it's fun and it helps you learn and grow because you're trying to get to that next step of your life, you know. But if you all love learning and having fun and growing in all areas of your life, for those of you who do, we've got the perfect podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversation with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of your life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister that you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos. And guys, it's free! Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it was the Once Girls that got you there.
Wait, but even better than the Once Girls that got you there is that our girl Ally is going to be on it.
I was about
Yes.
Like, you're
It's
not off
Ginnifer
the hook
Morrison.
yet.
All right, one of the
Not off the
reasons.
nook just yet.
Obviously, Maria is amazing. She's so inspiring, and she helps all of us out here at AfterBuzz TV. But she actually brought me on as a guest host last week, and we got to interview Ginnifer Morrison, who plays Emma Swan.
Oh my gosh.
Even a better way to go listen, please go to Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition on iTunes, and you'll be able to hear from Emma Swan and what she's been up to lately, and well, Ginnifer Morrison, but you know, she will be coming back for one other episode of Once. You guys should definitely check out this podcast. Maria's amazing. It's so inspiring, and just being able to chat with her, and she's got so much great advice.
I just can't believe you were going to tell them about the whole podcast and not be like, low-key, I was on it.
I was
She's just
waiting
so
for you to
humble.
finish.
She's so humble.
Listen, people, Ally was on it. She's phenomenal. And you get to hear from Ginnifer Morrison. So it's a win-win-win all around.
Completely.
And tell them that we sent you, us.
Yes, and
Nobody
please
else, us.
go subscribe, comment, and everything because it's free and you get great advice and fun times on your commute or going shopping or anything of the such. So
I would definitely go shopping with you, Allie.
let's go.
I totally would. Let's go.
Speaking of shopping, clearly we find out Henry does not actually end up shopping for a
Yeah, he
ring.
doesn't know how to shop.
He doesn't know how to shop.
I still don't trust where
he
that
ends up
other ring came
yeah,
from.
where'd you even get a band like that?
And it was janky, too. It was just like a guy's, like, silver. I was like, really?
I wonder
but-
if he got it off of Hook's hand.
oh, maybe. Oh my
He
gosh.
does have enough
stop.
to spare.
Stop. But yeah.
Hey, mate, I'm sorry I did you dirty. I'm not one here. Take mine. I've got 10 more.
It was really, yeah, that's true. He does have a lot of rings. I didn't even think about that. Now it's making sense. I missed that portion for a second. But what's really interesting is Nook is trying to figure out a way that he can kind of incorporate
call him
himself.
Nook?
Yeah, New Hook. That's what Kelly calls him.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
have you been?
No, I just
Carolina,
missed it.
Come on. But we have New Hook trying to figure out how he can incorporate himself into Henry's life more. And it was cute, you know, because if we remember, he was, you know, the drunk version of Hook and really needed guidance. And it's really interesting and fun to see him really grow as a character and be like, I just want to be there for you. I want to help you out.
Yeah.
He's
thought
like,
it was
oh, I
nice.
see old Hook didn't do it like this. Whatever.
I thought it was nice. That was actually one of my favorite parts, was seeing him help her get her first job and believing in her that she could do it, because she's never had anybody do that for her.
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking about in
Tilly.
Hyperion Heights. Nook. Yeah, this is a good episode for Nook in general. I feel like back in when he sends Henry on this adventure, it was cute, but it was also like this is so extra of you to set this up just so I could get a ring. Like, you couldn't have done something like a little less extra.
But the
so
reason I
true.
was bringing it back around with his daughter, who Tilly, he doesn't know is his daughter, but is his daughter, is that
We
he
know.
was doing he was doing the same thing for Henry that he's kind of doing for Tilly. Sorry, so that's why I was bringing it around.
That's
I
a
was
good
I was
point.
trying to tie it in.
The show's doing a really great job with the parallels.
Yeah, so you guys, I know you guys were like, we feel like this could have been another episode, but I felt like the big decision on both ends with Henry really did tie in together, and Nook's attitude was also the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. And it was him trying to help someone and figure out how he can incorporate himself into just like Tilly's life. And we see he's really trying with Tilly, and he has this, even though he's not awake yet, even though we've been begging for this to happen, he is really trying with Tilly. He's like, I don't know what it is, but there's something there that I feel like inclined to help this girl.
And I was so happy with it because I was just like, yes, father and daughter, and like you're not cursing. Like, oh, it's going great. Just stay cursed because you guys are happy you're cursed.
Yeah, I love their actually in terms of just core kind of connection. I think that they share more like pure connection than as opposed to other relationships in the episode. I really, really like them, and I feel like they're really good at acting like they don't know each other, but kind of somewhere deep inside they know that they know each other. And and Tilly is making a complete turnaround because, as you guys know, she was kind of like, I was confused by her character, and now I feel like she's adorable and back to like the Tilly that I loved in the first few episodes. So it's just a really cute scene, and we got Sabine again, which I missed her, so I love
Obviously,
that.
my Tiana.
Yes.
Yes.
I really hope we get a little bit more Sabine and her. I hope we see her happy ending kind of play out because
We better.
if anything, it was kind of
We definitely gonna.
we definitely
They gave
have
her
to.
a good-looking Prince Naveen.
I am ready
That's true.
for that.
Which can we bring him back on the screen? Yeah, I'm just saying, I need him back.
Well, yeah, he was very, very attractive. But let's get into Tilly and Margot for a second. First of all, I gotta say how frustrated I am with Margot coming back and just ripping her mom a new one. If your mom says she needs you, just be patient with her.
Attitude on 1,000.
She clearly didn't
Even
get
in
whoopings.
the opposite realm, she has like this huge mommy complex, and it's so unfair to Zelina because she's been raising. Although she did her dirty deeds before, one thing she's done right is been a great parent from what we've seen.
All I'm saying is she's spoiled. That little girl, she is too spoiled. She hasn't gotten whoopings. I bet you she didn't get on no timeout or anything. Like, mommy's probably just like, okay, don't be mad at me. Like, no. No. She needs punishment.
Yeah.
Put her in the cauldron, Zelina.
Well, it is funny that you bring that up. I think every time we see Zelina
Don't
now,
blink. I'm sorry, you guys. She literally said, "Don't put her in the cauldron."
And then
I look at her alarmed, and
no
then she
sympathy for
stops
children.
and winks at me like that's hot. But you guys can't see that on the podcast. But if the camera wasn't on her, I just need to call it out. Steph is boiling teenagers over there.
oh my gosh,
I've let it be known that I'm a witch since the moment I stepped onto this panel.
she
very
is
true.
Zelina. Zelina is her spirit animal. But yeah, I think Margot she needs to step back. You know, we all have forgiven her we've forgiven Selena for, kind of manipulating her dad into having her. So like, we've forgiven that. Let's just forget about it and move on. But yeah, I just think she was too much for me. But it was really fun to see Tilly and Margot kind of have the same initial connection as we did 2 episodes ago. So it's really fun to see this play out in the real world because
I was fangirling for it. I loved it. I was like, yes, I'm so happy. And I want Tilly to be happy. I feel like she's one of the coolest characters that we get to watch. But at the same time, she's also one of the most abused characters because everybody overlooks her. Nobody believes her. Nobody listens to her. And what really tugged at my heartstrings was at the end when she was telling Rogers, like, yeah, I met this girl. And she's going on and on about how excited she is.
guys, I'm totally shipping them. It's Marley.
Yeah. Oh,
Margot and Tilly.
Oh
Marley.
my god!
I like that.
Shipping it. Love
I
it.
really
Marley.
like them together because
Wait,
I
I
feel
don't
like
know if I like that nickname because Marley and Me has a really sad ending.
oh my
Oh
god.
gosh.
Okay, well,
way to bring it brown to sad. I'll think of another one.
on a
Well,
positive
let us know what you guys
note,
think.
yeah, you guys can give us ship names, but I think that there's such a cute couple in terms of they balance each other out. They don't have like the same issues they're dealing with different issues, and both of them give them a different perspective that the other's just not capable of thinking, and I love that dynamic.
100%. I think
Tilly's smart.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you bring up because we saw that when they had to work together with the whole giant scene. You know, they were really opposites there, and Margot, aka Robin, almost threw her under the bus and just was about to put her out to the spear people. You know, I don't even know who they were.
They're just like the disgruntled villagers.
Yeah, disgruntled villagers. Okay, I need to work on my vocabulary for the Premiere days. So yeah, I mean, I feel as if Jacinda and Henry's relationship, let's jump over to the different sides of love. And we saw a really big complex with Henry this episode, trying to figure out where he belongs. And he thinks that this podcast, being able to produce podcasts, is going to be the right job for him. And Jacinda tells him no. I mean, go,
Again,
not no.
frustrating. Frustrating.
Okay, tell me what you're feeling.
Okay, first of all, the relationship is so slow. Am I just like the only one that's thinking how slow their relationship is? It goes like 1 inch forward and then a million steps back.
Well,
like,
the curse is what's holding us by the throat because they can't progress this at all.
that too, but also Jacinda, come on, girl. Like, real, she keeps like, oh, I want him. No, I don't want him no more. Oh, I want him. Not anymore.
Okay, I'm going to disagree on this one. So I feel that Jacinda does really want him. And the reason she told him to go is because at the end of the day, in the Hyperion Heights world, she has no hold over him.
Yeah.
He's not, in her mind, he's not her kid's father. He's not her boyfriend. If anything, her daughter's been acting weird around him, so she's pushed him away. And then he tells her, hey, I have this amazing opportunity that I could have a great career. And she was being supportive, but you could see in the way that she delivered it that she was heartbroken about it, but she was trying to be supportive.
You just lit up a spark of idea in my head by saying what you just said, and it made me really think back to Nick and every time he's been able to insert himself in the storyline. And just with Jacinda, it's almost as if Hansel he curated this curse with Mother Gothel, because if we remember, you know, remember that look that I mentioned.
You keep saying it.
The look that he looked at Jacinda when he was introducing himself, he gave her that I like you look.
He did have a crazy look.
Yeah, so I think he curated the curse to say, well, I'm gonna get her in the real world, and also I'll be in between Henry and Jacinda, which obviously they're a force, their true love force will not be reckoned with. And then so we have that, and then we also have that if Nick was able to kind of curate the curse, he's behind the podcast. It's probably not even a real opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, he's curating all these things, so maybe he even has more powers than we think.
I don't think that the podcast was I think that was him making the opportunity for Henry.
Right.
But I agree with you, Carolina. I feel like let's be honest, you guys, they haven't even kissed yet. So to tell someone not to go to New York would be like level 5 stalker.
Yeah.
But I feel like Henry was giving her strong hints. That handhold was so long.
But going back to Carolina,
I would just be like,
the tension is there.
She doesn't know what's happening with them. Who is she to tell him you have to give up your career to stay here for something that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
And you guys both, Steph and Carolina, you both make such a great point because they haven't even been on a real date. They did a game night and Lucy jumped in the middle of them. So besides the radio thing, they haven't actually hung out.
Dude, the closest we got to a date was the bar with the bet.
Yes.
And then he didn't even make the throw.
So that really just goes to show that if she were to say no,
he was robbed.
That would have been weird. It would have been weird.
It would have been super weird. I thought that she did the right thing, being supportive. And you could tell that that's not what she wanted to say, but that's what a normal, healthy person says when you have nothing with another person. Good for you. Have a good life and be a successful professional human being.
Yeah.
Send me money through the mail if you feel like it.
I think I'm just stubborn.
Yeah. I mean, but
you wasted my time. It's the least you can do.
Send me money in the mail.
Well, she wasted his time, if anything. She's the one that's been more hot and cold with him than the other way around.
They both have issues that they need to...
But he's been pushing it forward, though, because he was even like, I think Lucy might be right. Like, I mean, it's a coincidence.
Which let's get into the whole book thing with Hansel. he really started to see, wow, that he's inserting himself into the storyline. So let's talk about this for a second. So now he's really starting to believe. I'm just figuring out if he's the truest believer, and Rumple is really trying to egg. You can tell he's egging him. He's cracking the egg. When are you gonna crack? And he hasn't. This just goes to show and proves our theory that he's just gonna be the last one to wake up.
Yeah,
that's very true.
I agree.
He legitimately read the book and read this guy's thoughts, and usually that would spark something in Henry.
The book was like the coolest prop, I think, of the season for me, because I used to work, fun fact, at the district attorney's office, and one time we had to like do something with the Unabomber files, which was this like crazy killer in San Francisco back in the 80s, and we got some of his notebooks, and it was kind of like that. It was like crazy, like gibberish, like putting things together, making plots in your head, making decisions, and all this crap. So, and there's always there's always a code you can crack in them. So I love that this was actually pretty accurate to what a crazy serial killer would do.
Right. I mean, that's just so crazy. I think Jeff's got a picture of that. That's really scary.
There he is.
I am scared.
Unabomber.
I feel like it looks like me in the morning.
Oh my gosh, stop.
I hope not.
You definitely do not, Carolina.
This is Hansel in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting to see that in there, and I'm glad that they did bring it into the picture, and we kind of had a sit down moment with Henry. But also too, he's trying to leave. He's like, I need to catch a flight, and it's like, dude, the cops have you, but there's nothing you can really do.
Davy Elmer just made a good point in the chat that Rumple's trying to give Henry as many clues as he can without waking him up, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely, but I was gonna jump on that thought process of Rumple helping him wake up, is that I felt like after he read the book and he thought about it, it wasn't so much that it was about the killer that he was helping with. When he was in the car, it really started to resonate with him. I felt what had happened in the book, his body started to be like, this is wrong. Like, leaving is wrong. What you're doing is not right. And then, of course, there's no such thing as coincidence that the glass killed his tire.
Okay.
And it looked like the heel of a glass shoe too.
Well, that's what he mentioned that. Yeah. He was like, this is weird. It's something weird.
It was a separate part of the shoe. Another shoe he saw of the
Which maybe these pieces that are just coming up is kind of like those flowers that come up when magic. Maybe things are just going to start popping up places.
That's what I was thinking about. Like maybe, and besides, where did the flowers go? But
yeah. What do you guys tell us? What you guys think about the glass slipper? Where you guys think it came from? If you have any ideas, because that stumped me.
Yeah,
I think it's more belief, because Henry was what you guys were saying when he was reading the book. Boom, something sparked up in him, and he was believing. While as he was believing, the shoe comes. I believe in magic.
I love that song. It always reminds me of the Parent Trap. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, and I guess we'll have to see more. And obviously, every episode, we're gearing towards the end, ladies. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm going to cry really sad tears when this happens to be over. But until then, let's get into some dynamic duos.
Woo!
Alrighty.
Sorry, I totally don't have the drop.
It's
but
okay.
keep going.
No,
I had my
okay.
little boom.
Dynamic
Sorry.
duo.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, don't do this.
Dynamic duo.
Oh, yes.
Dynamic.
So the
duo.
Yeah. So the dynamic duo that I had chosen for this episode, at first I was, like I said, the end of the episode kind of like made me forget about what had happened in the real episode. So I was thinking Henry and Rumple because they were really trying to work together. But the winner is Henry and Hook. They really worked well together to try to get this ring. So that is the dynamic duo of the episode for me.
I concur. Great call.
Double H was killing it.
Yeah, they were.
Double H.
No, well, it's a new Hook, so it's. I guess
It's
it
still
could
double
still be
H.
double H.
His name is still Hook.
Okay.
Such a hard
Jeez,
song.
Carolina. Oh wait,
Man.
also, you know what we haven't bugged Carolina about yet is that the fact that we found out who the Guardian was and it wasn't Lucy.
I don't know. Is it right though? I don't trust it.
It is.
Oh my
Are
God.
you kidding me?
It will literally come out of their mouths, and she
Carolina.
still won't trust.
So you
Listen,
think there's
we
a different
we
Guardian?
had a Guardian before, and where is she now? Gone.
She's
All
probably
right.
coming back.
Well,
I
you have
thought
time.
that maybe there could be another Guardian. We
Maybe.
said that because
Yeah.
we don't think
But not
Rumple would give
Lucy.
up someone's that quick.
Yeah.
No, you guys are like bugging me about it. He said, okay, I'm going to stand by what I said. I'm telling you people, it's Lucy. So he sent her off and he said that I found that I'm rewarded more often when I do good. And I have to believe that another guardian will arise to help me find my bell. Boom. It's his great-granddaughter, Lucy. Don't play.
All right. Well,
I think it's someone else,
let's
too.
let that fester, guys. Think about what Carolina just said, and we'll continue. We'll continue to fight to see who the actual guardian will be. But in the meantime, let's get into some character corner with Carolina.
Woo!
So Triple C.
Oh, that is.
Character corner with Carolina.
Cool, calm, collected. Let's go.
All right.
So our character corner this week features Davy Jones. Yes. Who's
I like this music.
Yes.
This makes me feel like I should be running on an island.
I'm
So,
sailing.
I'm sitting. I was gonna say I'm with the with the sword.
We're all doing different action movies. Alrighty, Carolina.
So most people know Davy Jones because of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. It made him incredibly famous, and they know that he is the captain of the Flying Dutchman and collects souls. However, Davy Jones actually has a very shrouded origin.
Do tell.
Yeah.
So Davy Jones originated as a euphemism for drowning or shipwrecks in which sailors enter the sailor ships. Remains were consigned to the bottom of the sea to be sent to Davy Jones's locker. The origins of this sea tale are unclear, but we do have some educated guesses, and I've got a couple stories here for you guys. If you want to look them up for further detail, go ahead. So fun fact, there was a famous pirate in real life in the 1630s named David Jones. However, historians don't believe that he had quite enough infamy to be the Davy Jones who would send you to his locker. Ooh. Also, there is a folk legend that Davy Jones was a pub owner who knocked sailors unconscious and locked them into his locker, among other nefarious traits, which that's actually a really cool story. You guys can research it on your own, but Davy Jones was a pub owner. Check it out. Just Google it. It's a pretty long story, and there's a lot of different origins for it. And then the other big one with Davy Jones is the Jonah theory. Ooh. So Jonah, as in from the Bible, and they believe that after his trials at sea, he became the devil of the seas. Oh. And other people believe that Davy Jones himself is a myth, that the devil exists in the ocean.
Oh, that's just creepy. That just totally...
And that he's
Turn
out
my
to get
Monday.
sailors when, like, they're at
That is
shipwreck.
so scary, guys. Pirates are scary.
Yeah,
I'm not going to the beach.
Like, honestly, there's no chance of
this
me
is like
doing
deep
cruises or
ocean.
anything.
That's close enough.
That is so scary. Geez, Carolina, thank you so much for bringing us Character Corner every week. I really enjoy them. It's really interesting to see how these stories kind of evolve, and they take this one character or idea and it festers into what it is today. And obviously, Davy Jones of what we've seen on Pirates of the Caribbean and now Once Upon a Time. It's really great to see how they all intertwine together.
And what Disney did with Pirates of the Caribbean was an existing folktale of Davy Jones.
Exactly.
And they just played on it with the which I think the Flying Dutchman is the coolest kind of like incarnation of Davy Jones, in my humble opinion.
Well, thank
I
you.
just love how creepy everything is at first, and then how it's fascinating how they twinkle everything up and make it like less creepy and more like la-di-da-di-da.
Right. Oh my gosh. 100
fairy dust on it.
100%. Well, hopefully we didn't scare you guys too much. But on a lighter note, let's get into some news and gossip because I have a couple of things for you guys today. So, really exciting news, guys. Lana Parrilla is actually making her directorial debut next episode.
Yes, queen.
She is going to be directing the next episode. It was really interesting. There was an article on Entertainment Weekly where they showed kind of, she did a little, what her process was kind of like. And she's obviously still acting in the episode. So, obviously, I think that that's amazing that she was able to dive in. And I'm really excited to see what she does with the episode. It'll be so much fun.
I'm really excited to see more women stepping behind the camera and creating shows.
Well, speaking of more women, another one of our obviously favorites and Once Upon a Time favorites, Emma Swan, which is going to be coming on in a couple episodes. Ginnifer Morrison is actually making her directorial debut on Netflix's Sundogs. It's out now. You guys can go watch it. She will be acting a small part in the movie as well, but this is her. She's directing the entire movie, and she was doing it while she was on Once Upon a Time too. So, and obviously, if you want to hear the breakdown of this interview with Ginnifer Morrison, please go to Maria Menounos' podcast on iTunes, Conversations with Maria Menounos, and you guys can listen to the entire interview there. It is so fascinating and inspiring just to see her process and when she decided she wanted to be a director and such. So really exciting stuff for the ladies of Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. Did you know that she started out directing music videos?
What?
I did see some of that. Yeah,
I did not know that.
she's got a great, amazing resume, and I mean she's just so talented. And yeah, I mean Sundogs is on Netflix now, so you guys can check it out for yourselves. So
I'm
super
definitely tuning in.
That's great news.
super fun, great news for our oncers out there. Alrighty, ladies, well let's just get into some predictions before we close out today's recap.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Steph, we're starting with you.
Oh man. Okay, so this always catches me off guard because I just everything happens so quickly. I do know that the next episode is called Chosen, so I'm getting a little idea that we're gonna find out who the actual guardian is, because I don't think it's Anastasia. So I think we're gonna find out who the new guardian is, but I think because there's a reason why. I think Rumple knows who the guardian is, but he's keeping it under wraps. There must be some sort of tie with that in the curse as well. So I think we're going to get a little bit more information on the curse, on the guardian, and then hopefully something with Henry. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
want him to move forward.
I would really hope that would happen.
That's it.
Lanisha, what are you thinking?
Henry has no choice but to survive, because if he dies, that would just be a whole waste.
Right. Oh my, could you imagine? That would actually be terrible.
I would hate that.
I would be
I
really
would throw
sad.
something at the TV. And I believe the guardian, if it's not Anastasia, it's Tilly. I just wanted to see Carolyn.
Oh my
That would be
goodness.
I was trying to
Interesting.
wonder why you were getting so
Because I just want to see you, Carolina. I just love you.
Oh man.
Lanisha loves giving Carolina a hard time. I love it.
So I think that Chosen is going to show us more information about the curse. That's what I'm hoping, is that we're actually going to find out more of the ins and outs in it and what's going on with it. And I also hope to see Zelina and Regina's plot to bring magic into Hyperion Heights come into fruition.
That would be
Great
so
call.
great. I love that. Yeah, I'm thinking that Nick is definitely having to do with a lot of the curse that they're all under, and he's working directly with Mother Gothel. And he might even have some sort of power. Something happened to him, when he was getting burned. I don't know. Maybe I don't really know it's exactly there, but I think he has something major to do with this. And clearly has some sort of powers, especially if he can be awake through all of this. So that's really interesting.
I have 2 predictions on Nick.
Yeah.
So I think that there's 2 camps that he could go. Either Nick lied when he met them in the Enchanted Forest and he was never Jack, he was always Hansel, and he's been manipulating this thing from the jump.
Agree.
Or he was cursed already when he met them as Jack, and he was cursed into thinking he was Hansel, but he's not.
Well, he has burn marks. He's definitely Hansel.
She's crazy. She could have burned him herself.
I think he's definitely Hansel.
I
I
think
mean, I'm
just
not
saying-
denying your prediction.
I'm,
okay,
no,
you
no,
predict that then.
my first prediction is the one where he
Yeah.
lied about being Jack and he's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
been Hansel. But then I do want to say the possibility that they've made Mother Gothel very dark, and Emma Booth herself said that she was going to have an episode. We're going to get to see it. She has a very tragic, flawed past, and she's done horrible, horrible things moving forward because of how she was treated. So who knows how dark she goes.
We are getting reminders that April 15th is our very own Zelina's birthday. So we'll be able to celebrate that on Monday.
Yay!
We'll sing a
I cannot
Beautiful
wait.
Witches
Yeah, we
ode.
will. We'll give her a special shout out.
I'm gonna wear green.
I love this show so much, and we love you guys, and we're so thankful for all of you guys commenting and subscribing and listening to us every week because we have so much fun. A special shout out to Ashley Marchuka. Thank you for tweeting at me and Steph this week, and if you want to hear your name shouted out, please be sure to tweet us or comment below. Alrighty, Steph, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw. Yeah, keep sending us everything. We love that.
Yes.
Lanisha.
What's up, you guys? You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lanisha, spelled Lanisha 914.
Carolina.
Hey guys, I'm Carolina Bonetti. You can find me on Twitter at Carolina Bonetti and on Instagram at LenaBean113. I love chatting all things Once Upon a Time with you guys.
Hey guys, Ally Nasta here. Find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at LA Girl. We will see you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.